What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the F1 2016 Career Mode. We still lead this championship somehow, and I don't imagine it's going to last too much longer. We're here for the Hungarian Grand Prix, traditionally a track that I haven't been good at ever since F1 2010. I don't know why, but hopefully we can change that pattern, that form, heading into this weekend's race. So this is Friday practice, doing the tyre wear test, sorry. All purples at the moment. Hungary is so tight that you basically stick to the racing line the entire time. I think it was Esteban Gutierrez there giving us some issues as we embarked on our final run there. Lost a bit of our front wing, but it didn't disrupt our overall flow of practice. Got purple scores, so basically everything, but the pace really wasn't there.
We don't think you'll have any trouble getting into the next session, so don't push too hard.
Okay, so this is Saturday qualifying now, qualifying 1. Like I said, we didn't really set the world alight in terms of practice, in terms of our qualifying pace, but we'll see what we can do now in qualifying. As the weekend goes on, I feel like I get more and more comfortable as the weekend goes on. I don't know if you guys can admit to that as well, but yeah, I just feel like it's much easier when the track is more gripped up, and as the weekend goes on, I get faster. At the end of qualifying 1, I think I ended up in P10 there. Now this is qualifying 2, very end of the session, trying to establish a lap that is going to secure ourselves in a qualifying 3. The first lap I did was on used option tyres that I used for qualifying 1, and now this is a brand new set that I'm ultimately going to be starting the race on if I manage to better my time, which I should be able to do, to be honest, because I'm 7/10 up on my previous best. Make that 8/10 as we head into the third sector with a little bit of traffic. I don't think they're going to disrupt us too much, as there's only one more corner to go through the final corner. Third gear through there. Always feel like you're understeering. No matter how good your car is, no matter how good everything feels, you always feel like you understeer through that final corner, and you can't wait to get through the exit of that one. But at the end of that lap, we ended up in second place. The pace really came out of nowhere. I nailed that lap as well. Ended up in second place, and then in qualifying 3, couldn't string together a lap that was anywhere near as good as the qualifying 2 effort. And we end up in 8th place for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So not too bad. The pace is there for the race, so hopefully in race trim we can be a little bit better.
It's always wonderful to come back to the lively Hungaroring. A popular destination this, nice and close to the beautiful city of Budapest, with some exciting racing to boot. Who can forget Michael Schumacher pushing his old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010, or those great races of 2014 and 2015 as well.
Top 7 finish is what we're predicting for today's race.
Okay guys, so here we are on the grid of the Hungarian Grand Prix. On paper, when I started this Career Mode Championship, I was always targeting this track, Singapore, as one of the weaker tracks that we'd come to. In terms of the race strategy, by the way, it was a 3-stop, I believe. Always lowering the fuel as well, because our fuel efficiency is so good that I can run in standard and recover a whole load of fuel to get me back in the positive. So here we are, ready for the start of this Hungarian Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and away we go. It looks like a bit of a squirmy start there, but we get in front of Lewis Hamilton there into P7, and now we've got a bit of a cluster up ahead with the likes of the Mercedes. We've got the 2 Ferraris, the Toro Rosso in there as well. The 2 Red Bulls lead the way, 1 and 2 at the moment, as this is one of their best tracks to boot on this entire calendar. But we head into turn 2 now, up the inside of Sebastian Vettel, and we make our way inside the top 4. So we've already halved our grid position in the course of 3 corners there, and we'll be eyeing up a move on Kimi Räikkönen, and possibly as he's stuck behind, I think it's Daniel Ricciardo, who's on the soft compound tyres at the moment. So Verstappen is establishing a lead at the moment, while Ricciardo is kind of being the rear gunner at the moment. So Hungary, for those of you who don't know, this is a track that's really difficult to overtake, and especially for the AI. So Räikkönen is going to have a very hard time getting in front of Ricciardo unless he can get that move done into turn 1, like he's doing now with the help of a bit of straight line speed. They slow each other up so much there. I run into the back of Räikkönen. Crucially, I don't lose any of my front wing there due to the, it is on realistic or hardcore simulation damage. But it's quite forgiving, this this damage model this year, I must say. But either way, we head into turn 5 now, and we might sneak a move up the inside of Raikkonen here. Yes, we do. He leaves the door open up the inside, and we definitely don't need a second invitation. We run side by side into the first chicane, and we manage to get the move done there. Raikkonen losing about a second in the process, yielding to me there. So now that leaves Daniel Ricciardo in second place. Kind of vulnerable to me at the moment. He's on the harder compound tyres, and he's also giving away some free slipstream and some DRS to boot. But we might sneak it up the inside, around the outside maybe. He's going very slow in the mid-corner, which is very surprising. I thought that Red Bull, given it is the best car, it is one of their best tracks, you'd think they'd be better at a track like this, but around the outside possibly. He goes in deep, and there we go. We moved into second place for this Hungarian Grand Prix, and I think this might be the maximum of what we can achieve this weekend, because Max Verstappen leads this race by something like 10 seconds, and now this is the very next lap. This is Raikkonen, finally pulls his finger out. He gets up the inside of Ricciardo there into turn 1. Shows him out wide, but then he has a bad exit himself, like we saw a few laps ago, and he actually didn't manage to get that spot there on Ricciardo. Now this is about, I think it was lap 4, lap 5, Pascal Wehrlein coming in very early to fit on the medium compound tyres. So going for the undercut, going for a bit of a bold strategy there. I'm not too sure if it's going to work out for him. I personally want to stay out as long as I can, because there's going to be a lot of guys in the midfield towards, the back end of the grid who are going to stay out on soft compound tyres, maybe even mediums, and kind of be in an awkward position. So I opted to stay out 1-2 laps longer than what Raikkonen and especially Verstappen did as well. So hopefully this can help me out. I'm going to go for a bit of an alternate strategy here and go onto the soft compound tyres to run a decent way into this race. My team, my engineer was suggesting a switch on the super soft tyres, but since I stretch out this set an extra lap or two, I actually managed to jump all the guys in the mid-pack there, and that's Raikkonen, who I was essentially battling for third place on the podium before the pit stops. He emerges behind that huge gaggle of traffic, and we managed to jump him there. So we're looking very good at the moment with this alternate strategy play. The guys who I'm immediately racing, Ricciardo and Raikkonen, they've put on the medium compound tyre. So they're going to run a long way into this race as we go up the inside of Jolie and Palmer there. What I've got to do now is I've got to stick this out for as long as I can now on the soft compound tyres. Try and hold up Daniel Ricciardo and also Kimi Raikkonen for as long as I can. And then come in again for possibly mediums to run to the end of the race. But I'll get into further detail about why I'm doing that later on in the race. So next up, we've got Jenson Button, who started on the medium tyres. We're going to try and get up the inside of him and put him between us and Daniel Ricciardo. So hopefully Ricciardo can get stuck behind him for a little while. Looks like it didn't work as we cut onto lap 11. Jenson made his pit stop. Ricciardo's setting purple sectors, and he's absolutely flying at the moment. Up the inside into turn 1. Can he make the move stick? I think he might, actually, as we try and hold it around the outside. We don't get DRS either. That's the property of Daniel Ricciardo. But we're going to lunge him up the inside into turn 2, just like he did to, I don't know who it was, a few years ago when he won this race in 2014. And we get the move done. Back into P2. Verstappen, meanwhile, while we're battling so hard for P2, he's just absolutely flying away at this stage. He's like a postcode in front of us at this stage. So, yeah, absolutely nothing we can do really against Verstappen. We're really just battling for P2 in this race as we continue the fight with Ricciardo. He goes up the inside. Engineer was telling me about an alternate strategy. He wants me to undercut by 2 laps and go onto the mediums. But I feel like if I stop on lap 17, my mediums will die out quite early towards the end of the race. And also, it'll give the guys behind me some clear air to stretch away while I make my pit stop. So meanwhile, while we were battling, that's Felipe Nasr. He's had an engine failure. No safety car was brought out because of that. No virtual safety car either. They managed to clear that away without interrupting the race, which was a little bit disappointing because I wanted to see the safety car come out and maybe have a chance at attacking Max Verstappen. But meanwhile, we had a bad exit on the final corner. Here comes Ricciardo around the outside. That's Sebastian Vettel now. It's not Raikkonen. He goes up the inside of Ricciardo there, who, kind of got hung out to dry there. I ran wide through turn 1, and as a result, Ricciardo ran out even wider. We've run wide again. Absolutely taking the piss there, I will admit. I straightened out the steering there. I knew I was going to run wide. And sometimes that happens, especially when you're pushing. And look at how close that is to the exit wall there. Very, very lucky that I didn't lose a tyre there. Sometimes you can just get gripped into the wall and lose a tyre out of nowhere. So we carry on. We come into the pits now at the end of lap 19 to put on our medium compound tyres. Now, the reason why I stayed out so long is because I wanted to keep the guys behind me, kind of take the life out of their tyres to a point where I could come in, get the undercut just, and then 2 or 3 laps later when they eventually come in, I should be able to make up the time to stay in front of them and just defend for the rest of the race. Essentially do like a Max Verstappen strategy of what he did at Spain this year. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and prioritize track position over everything else. And we should just about be able to hang on, so long as we can minimize those mistakes, get a really nice run out of the final corner, and keep up that top speed as we fly along that DRS straight. And we should be able to hang on to any track position that we can get our hands on. Kimi Räikkönen mysteriously got disqualified from this race. He emerged behind me, and then a lap or 2 later, he was absolutely gone. So final 5 laps of this race, unfortunately, Daniel Ricciardo emerged in front of me, and because of that, it was game over in terms of catching Ricciardo. He was faster, had a faster compound as well. He was finishing on the soft compound tyres, so he absolutely blitzed away, and he's going to secure possibly a 1-2 for Red Bull. Vettel managed to get in front of me as well, unfortunately, which is a little bit sucky, but now battling away with our teammate, we do the slow in, fast out, and we managed to goose our teammate, taking one out into the barriers vocabulary there. And yeah, just look at the replay. Just like went slow in, fast out, managed to get our teammate as he tried a bit of a desperate lunge up the inside, and we managed to outsmart him there. Continuing on, a few corners later, this is not Verstappen, this is Wehrlein right behind me, trying to shape a move, maybe into the 3rd sector now. He shows the nose, but we just cut him off there and managed to hold on to position 4. You'll see on the replay from Wehrlein's front wing just how close he gets here. I knew he was close, and I opted to turn in, knowing that full well we could have made contact, but thankfully enough, we managed to survive. Setting up this final corner now, you always have to take a really wide entry when your tyres get this worn, just to try and maximize that exit onto the straight here, and really keep up that momentum, keep up that top speed. You're kind of going to leave yourself vulnerable to maybe a sneak up the inside from someone behind, but it is worth just doing that just to get that extra few kilometers down that straight. So it's the final lap now. I think Max Verstappen has won this one by literally a minute, and we're just going to try and hold on to position 4 here as we've left the door open a little bit, and Wehrlein comes out of nowhere with that straight line speed, somehow better traction right at the line there. That is so disappointing that he's just pipped us there for 4th place, and that's going to cost us 2 points in the driver's standings, which I really didn't need at the moment. And it's P5 for this Hungarian Grand Prix. I really thought I had him covered there, but he just found a little burst of speed in the final, 30 meters of that race. I'll show a replay on the screen now. It was just absolutely crazy how he managed to do that. But either way, we've done that to other drivers this season, and now we're getting a taste of our own medicine. But that's been the Hungarian Grand Prix. Coming into this race, I knew it wasn't going to be the strongest weekend for us. But that's okay, because we've got some really strong races coming up for us. Germany, Spa, Monza, it's just so many towards the back end of the championship. I always favour myself as a finisher in terms of accumulating strong points against some of my rivals in the championship. But in terms of the championship itself, we've dropped down to 3rd. Both Ricciardo and Verstappen overtake me. It's still very close between us and the Red Bulls at the moment, so we're definitely not down and out. We've got an engine upgrade coming very, very soon. I think in the next episode we'll have enough resource points to put that on the car, and then that should be ready by the time we get to Spa. So huge engine upgrade coming. That's going to be the final engine upgrade of the entire series, and that's definitely going to help us. So in terms of the rivalry as well, it's not looking good against Sebastian Vettel, who managed to finish on the podium. He gets points in every single facet of the rivalry there and absolutely destroys us there. So it never looks good in terms of rivalries, but the championship is the main prize for us. But that's been this episode for today, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2016 videos. And until the next race, the German Grand Prix, I'll see you guys next time.